believes that we have seen the dawn of a new health system, one that will better serve this country.
Question number 23, under the name of Alice McIntosh.
Speaker. To the Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and Ethnic Communities, what government support or community assistance, if any, is in place for Rainbow youth in rural or small town New Zealand?
Honourable Priyanka Radukshan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will make the note yet again that the responsibility for providing support to our young people, including from our rainbow communities, sits across this government and across various portfolios. In my specific portfolio, I guess in the diversity, inclusion in ethnic communities space, I will point to the Ethnic Communities Development Fund, which is a pool of funding that our government increased eightfold from $520,000 a year to $4.2 million per year. That goes directly to communities across the motu. We've also, of course, expanded the criteria of that fund, and that is available for rainbow youth from ethnic communities around the country as well. Also in that vein, specifically with the top-up to the Rainbow Wellbeing Legacy Fund, I will mention that there are at least 2 initiatives that are funded through that, Adhikar Aotearoa and Indian Pride, that specifically work with rainbow communities in ethnic communities. Just more broadly to your question, though, the funding that I mentioned through the Ministry for Youth Development also goes to rainbow youth across the country. And as I mentioned previously, in 2021-22 alone, 14% of that funding went directly to rainbow youth and 29% to those in rural communities specifically. Final point I'll make is that there has been work underway by both Ministers Clark and O'Connor in terms of improving rural connectivity as well across the country, so that people more broadly and rangatahi are able to access these services in a way that's more efficient.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question. Does the Minister plan to ensure safe community spaces are available to rainbow youth across New Zealand? If so, how?
Once again, I'll just take that opportunity to condemn what we've seen in the past, because there should be absolutely no space in our communities or in our society more broadly for the events that we've seen take place that target rainbow communities and their spaces. Generally, when it comes to spaces more broadly, and I assume you're referring, the member is referring to physical spaces, that usually sits within local government to provide spaces or funding through the likes of, for example, lotteries and other pools of funding that sit outside my portfolio specifically to be able to fund that. But look, what I will say to the member, Madam Speaker, is that I would be willing to consider if there are solutions that would be raised with me around ways in which through my portfolios we can assist to help make those spaces safer. I'd be willing to consider them. Thank you.
Further supplementary?
Supplementary question. Will the Minister ensure rainbow education is a part of the New Zealand curriculum? If so, how?
Unfortunately, in terms of what is included within the New Zealand curriculum, that mandate does not sit with me as the Minister for Diversity, Inclusion and Ethnic Communities, or as Minister for Youth for that matter. That would be something for the Minister for Education to consider. But I will also emphasise, as I mentioned in a response to an earlier question in this House today, that there is work underway by the Ministry for Education to ensure that existing spaces, schools, and those who teach within them are equipped to be able to deal with rainbow young people in a way that is respectful and in a way that is relevant.
Question 24 is under